I also somehow came across a report that was out of someplace, I think Idaho, I'm not sure, but it was a research paper done at a university around the issues associated with financial stress and how they cause personal issues, not just financial issues. And I thought that was really interesting. Those two things came together for me. And ever since then, I've just been very curious about how do we make decisions about money? And frankly, how do we make decisions about anything?
You are tuned in to the Money Script podcast. Today we will share strategies to help you grow your financial literacy and improve your money script. I'll be back with some important announcements. Until then, enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Money Script podcast. It's your host, Johann Harrison. So happy to be with each and every one of you today. I am joined today by Sheri Fitts. Sheri and I met in Austin. I think it was in Austin. We were both at a mutual conference, soaking in, taking in all of the great energy from the room and learning from everyone there. We struck up a conversation and I said, would you like to be on my podcast? And she said, of course. Mm-hmm. And here she is. Sheri, how are you today?
I am swell. I'm swell. Thanks for having me. We're in Portland, Oregon, coming to you live from Portland, Oregon. And I know that you're going to be shocked, but it's raining today. So there you go.
It's raining. Well, you know what? You're doing better than our folks out in Florida. I was supposed to have the Dr. Crosby on our show today, but apparently he is in the hurricane's way. So I guess I was going to record two in one. I had a two for today. It was going to be a behavioral finance day. Well, speaking of behavioral finance, Sheri and I, we are going to be talking and discussing behavioral finance and just a lot of the thoughts and the emotions that are centered around financial decision making. What Sheri doesn't know is that I'm going to bring her some real situations so I can pick her brain. And just so we can have the general conversation, because as most of you know, if this is or some of you maybe don't, if this is your first time tuning in, again, I'm Johann Harrison. I'm a financial advisor with Money Script Wealth Management. As a financial advisor, my role is through giving advice, is to help individuals, bring clarity and bring alignment with their goals, their values, and their behaviors, specifically the financial behaviors, because we know money affects a lot of the things that we do. So I want to be there as a resource to help people make better financial decisions. And the purpose for this podcast is to get you thinking about your money. It's not so that you can come work with me, because I cannot work with all of you. There's too many of you. There's thousands upon thousands of you. But I know that I can give you a few tools that maybe you can go out and find someone that fits with your personality and can help you start making better financial decisions. So with that, let's talk about Sheri being the first woman podcast in the financial services industry.
Yeah.
But tell us the year, Sheri, while we all fall out. What was the year?
I know, it's 2015.
Y'all thought she was going to say 19 something. No. You thought she was going to say 2005. No, she said 2015. No. That was 8 years ago. 9.
Yeah. Yeah. I talked to a woman on my podcast who was in sales and financial services. And in 1998, the sales division was questioning whether a woman could be a salesperson in that specific organization. 1998.
Okay.
Yeah.
1998?
Yeah. Yeah. You think that's like, yeah, that's like the first Blade Runner was even before that, right?
I think that was like the first Speed, or something, one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow. Well, look how far we have come, right? At least that.
We're working on it.
How far we're going. Look at where we're going. Let's not look at where we are. Let's look at where we're going.
Yeah.
So let's just on that same note, behavioral finance is finally making it into the everyday nomenclature of financial planning when our emotions have been tied to our money since money existed. And
Oh,
we're
oh,
just now
oh.
kind of figuring that out. Like, oh, wait, maybe I'm predisposed to these behaviors. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
acting on biases. Maybe I'm acting on previous money scripts that don't even really
Maybe I'm
define me
human.
anymore. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I'm human. Maybe, I tease my clients and anyone that I'm talking to a lot. I tease them by saying, you're a really smart individual, smart enough to know that doing mental math with your finances, it doesn't make sense.
Mm.
Like, you are smart enough to know that you should not be trying to balance your checkbook in your head. You should not be
You mean
trying to
this doesn't
figure
work?
out. No, it actually it doesn't. Actually, that might work better. Okay. Than what we try to do. It's
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
technology, we have tools, we need to use them. And we also have resources that we need to dig into. So, Sheri, can you just share with us a little bit about your journey into
Yeah.
behavioral finance and what it
Oh my
means to you?
golly. Well, I will tell you that. So I started in the financial services industry as a graphic designer, creating education materials for 401k plans. So hold on to your seat. That was 1994. Okay, so right,
Pause. The 401k had already been around for 20 years. Okay, go ahead.
right, since 1974,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Ted Benna. Anyway, so it took a while, and anyway, 1998, I ended up being the de facto head of that department, and I was just really fascinated by how people make financial decisions because, frankly, selfishly, I wanted to kind of figure out my, you know, my journey with finances. Of course, I was a single mom. And so I came across crazy. We did not have a TV when my son was growing up. He managed to survive and he knows all the cultural references, so he's fine. But we would listen to National Public Radio,
NPR. Oh, yeah.
NPR. And NPR had a show on called Marketplace Money. You may have heard of it. It's on Saturdays in my local area. It's a great show, it's frankly. And Marketplace Money had this geek on who was talking about this research paper that they did, Shlomo Bernarzi and Richard Thaler, now Nobel Prize winner Richard
Yes.
Thaler. So they were on
Yes.
Marketplace Money, and they were talking about this research study that they did about what's broken with 401k plans and what they were doing to fix it. Now, this was like in 2000, and I get it mixed up. I think it was 2003 that they wrote that paper. 2003 is when they wrote the paper that really started my journey in behavioral economics. And I've been speaking about it ever since because I'm like, why don't we tell people about this? Why is it something that's just kind of kept in like the universities? It took, to your point, here we are 2025, and we're working as an industry to really thoroughly understand the ideas behind behavioral economics and behavioral finance. But it was fascinating for me. I was like stopped in my tracks in 2003. I called up National Public Radio and I said I would like a transcript of that show, and then I had to fax. I don't know if you guys know what a fax is, but I had to it was this thing where you fax in your credit card and then they faxed me back the transcript. It was before podcasts existed.
Facsimile,
Right?
to be exact.
Yeah, exactly. So that's when I started. I was really curious about it. I also somehow came across a report that was out of someplace, I think Idaho, I'm not sure, but it was a research paper done at a university around the issues associated with financial stress and how they cause personal issues, not just financial issues. And I thought that was really interesting. Those two things came together for me. And ever since then, I've just been very curious about how do we make decisions about money? And frankly, how do we make decisions about anything? Right? So that's how I kind of got into this behavioral economics geek kind of place. Yeah. And the emotions of decision making.
Beautiful journey. And I'm sure if your journey was anything like mine, being that you are also human, it was very eye-opening as some of those concepts were just hitting you directly in the heart. And you're like, oh my goodness, I'm biased. Oh my goodness, I am emotionally tied to something that I probably should not be. And I'm sure it was a journey of relearning yourself, relearning your own connection to your emotions and the memories you like to associate with certain emotions that then drive your decision making. Because let's face it, we are habitual creatures. We want habits so that we don't have to think.
True
Our
that.
brain is trying to conserve as much energy as possible. Our brains take up so much energy. We are trying, yes, we are seeking cognitive ease.
Cognitive ease. I love that word.
Oh my God. Okay. Cognitive ease. I'm going to say
cognitive ease. Yeah.
I'm going to say that to my wife instead of I need a break. I was like, I need a cognitive ease.
Cognitive ease. Who is it? My granddaughter likes Elmo so much. Yeah. Cognitive ease.
Oh gosh.
Right?
There's got to be a GPT or something out there that will translate whatever you want to say into Elmo talk.
Oh my word. Oh my gosh, I have to try that. I'm going to do that. Yep. I haven't even thought about that. Yep. Yep. So it's essentially what you're saying. Our brain is built to conserve calories. And our prefrontal cortex uses the there's the thinking part of our brain, the feeling part of our brain, and the reactive part of our brain. Kind of, you know all this, but so the prefrontal cortex consumes a ton of energy, right? And so what we have to have shortcuts, and we look for places where there are shortcuts, good or bad. So to your point, right?
We look for familiarity and the shortcut.
Yep.
Because we want to do what's familiar. We don't want to do anything new. Okay.
Yep. Totally. Indeed. Yeah. The other one that for me really, like, I'll tell you that I'm still working on,
Oh, you're human?
Right. Yeah, I'm human, and I'm still trying to crack that code of my relationship with money. I teach what I need to learn, right? But I will tell you that the one thing that I became very aware of is how powerful inertia is. That familiarity, what we have been doing, it is easier for us to continue doing. Hence the subscription model that everybody loves so much these days, right? Where you go, yeah, sure, I'll sign up for $12 a month, and I use it for 1 week and then don't use it, but I keep paying for it because that inertia of, Amazon's doing subscriptions, that inertia is, it can work for us and against us. So
Agreed.
That's a big one that I started to notice a lot in my life. Yeah.
So, as I said earlier, I want to pick your brain on something just so we can have a conversation, because I had a what some would refer to as a come to Jesus moment with a client.
Good.
In helping them try to break through inertia. So, and it's not just that client in particular. This is something that happens often with clients. And so I want to bring this up because I know it will continue to be an issue. But have you ever met anyone that anchored themselves in the value of their home? And when the home values change, they think they're entitled to the value that it once was, versus understanding that the value is whatever someone's willing to pay you for it. And it's kind of contradictory to the thought of, if I believe it will come, or if I believe my house is worth 500,000, it will be worth 500,000. Okay, true, but there's also a time aspect here. According to the offers you're receiving, it's not worth 500,000.
Yeah.
According to
Yeah.
their offers, it's worth 475. And so what I've seen that create inertia where clients won't do something they know they need to do because they're attached. And it's not just homes. It happens with
Yeah.
stocks as well. You know, a stock will go to a certain price, or their 401k will go to. I remember working with a client where this was in 2007-ish, 2007,
Mm-hmm.
2008, and their portfolio had reached $1 million.
Ooh, yeah.
And they had always told themselves, okay, when my portfolio reaches $1 million, I'm going to leave this job and I'm going to go do what I really love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So their portfolio touched this $1 million price point, but then subsequently in 2008, due to the inertia, they didn't get up and go. 2008,
Mm-hmm.
2009, all of a sudden the portfolio value was back down to 800. And now
Mm-hmm.
at that point, they felt they weren't worth that dream that they had. And making the decision was tied to the million. It was like, wait, you're not the $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
$1 million
Mm-hmm.
is a product of what you were. It's an extension of you. It isn't you.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
Mm-hmm.
now they were tied to that. Oh, well, I can't do it till I get back to $1 million. It's like, can you share with me some of your insights on anchoring? Because that's really what I'm asking about is when
Yeah.
people anchor
Yeah.
themselves, what are some ideas or some strategies to help them kind of think through this? Because as soon as we finish recording, I'm going to send this to someone.
Well, let's talk about anchoring first, right? Let's talk about this idea of anchoring. So, in fact, I use it quite a bit in my consulting business where I work to anchor somebody. And so what I do is I do a kind of like a small, medium, and large price, right? So I do a small price, like the thing that they just asked for, boom, small price. The medium price maybe is twice as much, but then I give them twice as much cool stuff. And then the third price is frankly the holy shirt ski price, where it is like 4 times as much, but it has all this stuff in there. And what I am doing is anchoring in a way. I am using this idea to anchor them to like the holy shirt ski price is really high and really expensive. And so the low price doesn't look so bad because it's not sitting up against standing by itself. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they do this,
They
they do
do this
this.
with everything. They do this with
Yeah. Yeah.
the consumer industry has been doing it for
Mm-hmm.
years with making
Yep.
things $7.99. They
Right.
anchor you to the 7
Right. And
versus
then they
the
just
8,
toss
and
it.
they put
Yeah.
them and
Yeah.
they so they're and they're oh it's $7.99. It's
It's
not, or
$7.
it's
Yeah.
$99. It's not 100. They love doing it, especially when it's
Yep.
adding a column, a what do you call it, a
Yep.
numbers
Yep.
column. So it's
Exactly.
$999. Ooh, it's below
Yep.
1,000. Really?
Right.
Stop.
Yeah. I know.
Stop.
I do that with my conference.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
The tickets are $997. Somebody's like, "What's the reason for the $997?" I said, "Because it's not 1,000."
because it's not 1,000.
Exactly that, right?
Mm-hmm.
People like it's anchored to the lower amount. So so you have a client who tell me like I gotta know a little bit more. Like tell me like
So
they're
specifically,
anchored to the value of their house.
they're anchored. They are in a position where they need
Mm-hmm.
to sell their home.
Ah, okay,
And the offers are not coming in as high as they want them to be.
okay,
And
yeah.
but for every month that they hold on to this home, they're
The
paying
price
2
is just going down.
mortgages.
Oh golly, oh ouchie. Okay, yeah,
And I was
yeah,
trying to get this client to understand that you're caught over time, you're eating into that profit that you talk. Your house should have been sold 4 months ago, but now you've already paid,
yeah,
4 months of $5,000. That's $20,000, or excuse me,
yeah,
4 months of $4,000. That's $16,000 that's
yeah,
gone
yeah,
out of your pocket to go to the mortgage, and not all of it is reducing the value of the mortgage. A very small percentage of it does. Most of it's going to
yeah,
taxes. Another big portion is going to
yeah.
insurance. Another big portion is
It's
going to interest.
interest. Yeah, totally.
But yet you've
But
anchored yourself to this $500,000 price point. I'm sorry, honey, your house isn't worth 500,000. Well, why are you so attached to 500,000?
yeah, maybe well, perhaps they've got some credit card debt that's tied up and they want that
No,
spread.
absolutely. No, there's a spread that they're looking for, but no,
Yeah.
Sherry, there's
Yeah.
profit here too.
Okay,
There's
cool.
profit.
Awesome. So I'll tell you that I've actually been in this situation. I wasn't the one kind of navigating it. My husband was. And so he was the one navigating. We had two mortgages at the time. And actually, he ended up losing 30 pounds because the dude was freaking out about it. Right.
Whoa.
And this was in 2008. Right. Yeah.
I just lost 2 pounds thinking about that.
I know. Right. So I think we were in a little bit of a different position because we did get an offer and we were like, hallelujah. Right. And it was we really had no idea about, the value of our house, although we saw it as, something that was kind of coming down. So we certainly had the focus of selling it as fast as possible to maintain the cost of the house as high as possible. So I think the thing that what I heard you say is that the market is clearly communicating to this individual that their house has a particular price range, that they've received offers. And I think, the biggest thing that I would probably say to this individual is that you have a realtor, you have a financial advisor, you have people who do these things for a living. And, what you're essentially doing is arguing with the surgeon on where they should cut. Right? That's what they're doing. Right? Hang on, doctor. Nope, you're not going to cut there. I'll tell you where to cut. So that's the challenging part, is having them kind of trust the expertise of the individuals that they've called in for guidance. So I think, that would be kind of the first thing that I would try to rattle their cage a little bit, is that first off, your realtor is kind of telling you these things. Second off, your financial advisor is telling you these things. Help me understand where there's a lack of trust in our expertise. That might be the avenue that I might go down, because obviously this individual is a professional. They've got another house, that they can afford this kind of house, right? The only other thing that I would try to do is, and you've probably done this, is run the numbers for them. You've done the whole cost benefit analysis thing. So, that would be probably the other thing. At the end of the day,
at the end of the day, we were talking about somewhere between $9,000 and $15,000.
Got you.
If she got the price she wanted versus the price being offered.
And every month that she continues to pay on that
$4,000.
Right, on that second mortgage is a month she's eating away at the $9,000.
But in her mind, if I get the number I want or better, it'll all work out. And I'm saying, look, that is the certainty of uncertainty right there.
Right.
A bird. The story I like to tell is, have you ever caught a bird, one that flies? Sherry, have you ever caught a bird?
No, my dog has, though. It was very sad.
Oh,
Siri
thought I said Siri. I said Sherry.
I know Siri does that. My Siri is also saying hello now.
Oh gosh.
See.
So you've never caught a bird.
Nope, my dog has, but not me.
Okay, my dog hasn't caught a bird either. My dog previously did. But this dog, no, she's a little too lazy for that. But anyways, she's over there in the corner being lazy.
Yep.
If you manage to catch a bird in your hand, but then to your left, you saw there were two in the bush.
Yeah.
Are you going to sacrifice the bird in hand to try to catch the two in the bush? Because I don't know about you, catching a bird is hard. So
No, not
that's the
gonna.
message I try to
Yeah.
relay to individuals. The price you have today is your bird in hand.
Sunk cost fallacy.
Exactly.
Isn't
You
that what
can,
it is? You know more
that's,
about that than me, right? But
yes,
that's
you
what it
can
is.
go after that bush if you want, but you might end up with nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Now, so essentially, the other thing that's happening from a behavioral finance perspective is there's this anchoring thing, but in her mind, she's feeling loss, right? The fear of loss is greater than but the fear of loss is the thing that's she's saying.
the fear of
You
potential
know,
loss is actually the fear of potential loss will eat up more brain cells and
yeah,
energy than the
right,
actual feeling of loss itself.
right. It just is like crazy.
It's like the
You
anticipation of death is worse than death itself, they say.
Right. You feel it two times. You feel loss two times more than gain.
Exactly.
So what the other thing that she's dealing with here, besides, the anchoring in a price that is not any longer, substantiated by the market, not feeling as if, she is really trusting the advice of the experts that she's hired and paid. The other part that she's dealing is she's feeling this loss, right? She's feeling this loss between the 5,000 and the 9,000. So, the only thing I can say is that it's cool she delayed a little bit, because at least from the buyer's perspective, they may be getting a lower interest rate on their loan.
And
It's
I
nice
did
of
mention
her.
that. I did
Yeah.
mention that. I did mention that.
Yeah, that's
Actually, she said
yeah.
one of the buyers that didn't work out came back. I said, "Oh yeah, that's
Ah,
where their interest rate went down. Of course.
yep,
Yep,
yep.
they're back."
So maybe she's thinking that now that the interest rates have gone down, buyers might be able to offer a little bit more.
So
Yeah.
interestingly enough, what I have seen, that she's not the first, because having dozens
Yeah.
upon dozens of clients, there's lots of things happening at once.
Yeah.
I'm seeing buyers right now get better deals because inventory sat on the market
Ooh, yeah.
longer over this later
Yep.
part of the summer because interest rates were so high. So I'm
Yep.
not saying it is a buyer's market, but the buyers have had a little bit more
Oh, heck.
luck,
Yeah.
because some people are like, yes, I need to get off this home. I'm glad your interest rate. Yes, I'll, whatever you got here, you can have.
Yep.
So who knows how long that lasts. So
Yep.
I want to spend just a couple of more minutes on one other behavioral finance concept
Cool.
that is also near and dear to my heart. And you mentioned it earlier, and that's inertia.
Mm-hmm.
Interest, because we mentioned interest rates. Interest rates over the last, say, 24 months have been at the highest that they've been in over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Yet there's still dozens of you, and you know who you are. I'm talking to you, and I know you listen to the podcast, and I'm going to talk to you later today. But there are dozens of you, and you're not alone. There's also that have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in bank accounts that are still paying them nothing.
Ooh,
When there's alternatives out there that will pay,
yeah.
and it doesn't have to be through me. I'll even call out my competitors, because I personally, my clients, we work with Altruist Cash, and I just started working with another company called Flourish Cash. Oh, look, hey, see, I knew I
Shout
should
out
have
to
worn my
my
shirt.
friends at Altruist.
I knew I should have worn my shirt today. Oh my goodness. Okay. I pulled the shirt out too, and I was like, I don't want to wear this one. I want to wear this one. Anyways, so Altruist Cash, Flourish Cash, our clients are getting 4.6% interest on their cash, and FDIC insured, and it's up to $1 million. And with Flourish on the business accounts, I think they go up to, I don't know, 2 million. Don't quote me on that. It's a lot of FDIC insurance. And I brought you these opportunities. You see the commercials on TV. You see the billboards everywhere that say we'll pay you more for your cash. So shout out to Goldman Sachs, American Express, Ally Bank. What's the other? I don't know. There's a list of them.
Yeah.
But yet Your money is sitting in Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, and the
Yeah.
credit union, and they're paying you 0 point something.
They're using your
They are
money,
absolutely using it, loaning it to me. Thank you.
right? To buy houses,
What
right? But they are. They're
exactly.
using your money. Yeah.
But
Why
I
aren't you
don't
using
understand
your money?
yes, I
Yeah.
don't get the inert. What is so painful about opening a new account and transferring the money?
Well, I think it's because, the biggest thing, my biggest gripe, right, with the world of financial services is that it's just so overwhelming to do anything. So maybe, and the thing about it is that so much easier to open an account than it used to be. It's so much
We could have
easier.
already had an Altruist account opened
You
and
don't even
funded
you don't
in the
even have
time
to
it took
have
me.
a notary anymore,
No.
right?
Oh,
Right?
guess what?
So
Guess what? And women can
yeah,
open accounts without their husband signing for them. There's that.
shocking. I think
I
that
know,
happened
right?
in the 70s. I think,
Imagine
right?
that.
Right. So here's what I would maybe do with those particular clients is go, how's about we just do like what is the so for me, when I'm thinking about overcoming this inertia thing, and what 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 I do is think about what can I do for whomever, myself or the other individuals, how can I break it down into smaller things so that it's just so ridiculous that I laugh at myself and then do the thing. So if even what it is that you can say, we're not going to do this whole paperwork thing today. We're not gonna. All we're gonna do is I'm gonna set up a Zoom call with you, and we're just gonna click on the thing and get your login. End of story, right? So that this is what I do with
Mhm.
my VA, because I have accounts here and accounts there and accounts there. And so for my bookkeeper, they need me to download all the statements. It literally takes me maybe like 5 minutes to do it
Oh
all,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
put
it's
it
no
off
fun.
all the time.
Oh yeah, I
And
do
so,
too. I get it.
right? I know.
Oh yeah.
But so what I do is I make an appointment with her name's Stephanie, and she just sits
Hey
there.
Stephanie.
Yeah, exactly. She just sits there, and I say, this is you holding me accountable for downloading my stuff. And she's like, you're sure this is all you want me to do? And I said, yeah, this is all I want you to do. So what I might do, right, is just say, no, we're going to do a Zoom thing, and let's just do it together. I know it seems overwhelming, so I'm just going to be here by your side instead of like pushing it off on them. Try to and then just go. All we're going to do today is you're going to log in. You're going to create a password. They're going to identify you. Done. We're done for the day.
Mm.
Like really. So that might be helpful.
Well, what's going to happen. She would say,
But
while we're here, why don't we just go ahead and fund it? And I'm saying,
yeah,
no, no, no,
exactly.
no, no, let's not do that. No, no, I don't want to overwhelm
Right,
you. But
exactly.
Sherry, thank you. I'm going to try that in about 45
Okay,
minutes.
sweet, good.
I
I,
am.
I want to hear back, so message me back
Oh,
and
I
let me know.
will. I will
Right,
message
it's
you back.
something called, just for the people on the line. It's something that I like to talk about. It's called, I don't have it written down because I learned about this a couple weeks ago, but it's something called self-efficacy, which is that in the world of inertia, right, and all of those kind of things, if I look at something that seems overwhelming to me and I try to do something as simple as possible, like crazy ridiculous, like floss one tooth, right? What it does is, if all I do is every day floss one tooth every day, right? After a while, my belief in my ability to floss my whole mouth starts to increase. It's the same with, if you're thinking about, I need to go to the gym, don't go to the gym. All I want you to do is find your workout clothes, find them, put them in a bag. That's all. Drive your ass to the gym. That's all. Don't even go in. Just figure out how you're going to do. Wake up, start to build the skill around the small, because there are actually a lot of skills in that whole thing.
There
And
is.
then, walk in the door to the gym and say, hi, I'm new here, and get over that new feeling and go, I'm not working out today because this is enough new for me. I'm going back home. But the fact of the matter is that by breaking it down into those smaller skills, you're going to build your self-efficacy and you'll be able to do it. So that's what we're working on with that. Just FYI.
So Elmo, the phrase for today is self-efficacy.
Self-efficacy. Self-efficacy. And then cognitive ease.
You do that
Right?
very well. Don't
I
let me
liked
find the
Elmo before
GBT.
he was before there was Tickle Me Elmo. I was an Elmo fan from way back.
I am one
Yeah.
that grew up on Sesame Street.
Mm-hmm.
Little known fact about me, I learned a lot of Chinese from
Oh,
Big Bird Goes to China. I
wow.
memorized all those songs. The
Man.
Wan Hai Ni,
Wow.
Tai Jin, all I learned it all from Big Bird Goes to I used to love Big Bird Goes to China. I don't know why, but I did.
Wow.
I
That's
did.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
Very cool.
Sheri, with all of our guests on the show, we like to conclude with asking you a simple question. Would you please share with our listeners your first memory of money?
Oh, I think the first memory I have of working to get money
Oh,
was I took the empty baby food jars. They used to come in glass baby
I
food
remember those.
jars,
Yeah,
right?
the little
Yeah,
Earth's Best baby food in a little jar, the Gerbers. Yep.
exactly.
Mhm.
And I took those Gerber's baby food jars and I would go around and pick rose petal leaves and then put them in the jars with water. And then I would go, I think I was 4 or 5, and I would go door to door with my little red wagon selling perfume. Yeah, yeah. And I think I can't remember like the first moon landing or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I was born in 61. I mean, I'm 62. So I can't remember exactly, but that's one of the first
68
ones.
something. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
69.
I think I remember I was all
Well,
that
It was JFK was still alive, so it had to be 67.
yeah,
I don't know a lot about the moon
yeah,
landing, but JFK
yeah.
was the one did the small step for man thing. So
Mm-hmm. Yep. I
wow,
remember all the grown-ups were watching some moon thing, and I snuck out the door with my wagon and my rose petal
that is
water.
beautiful. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it. And look
yep.
at you, still today helping people smell
Entrepreneur.
better.
Exactly. Interestingly, I wear rose petal perfume, and I never put
Wow.
the two together until maybe like 4 years ago. I went, that is really ironic.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful story.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Sheri, thank you so much for spending some time with us on the Money Script podcast. We got some new
Delightful.
vocabulary today, people. We have the first one. What was it? Cognitive
Ease, right? That
ease.
your brain needs simpler things.
So
Yeah.
cognitive ease and self-efficacy. It's
Efficacy.
just the
Yeah. Which
little
is,
things.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Self-efficacy is pretty much almost the same thing. The smaller you can break something down, the easier it is to get over inertia. Yeah.
Indeed, because our brains want to do what is familiar and what takes the least path of resistance.
True. Yes.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Yep.
Well, Sheri, we appreciate you. Listeners, do yourself and a friend a favor. Just one small thing. Before you click over to the next podcast or move on to the next task, hit the share button and share this with one person. One person that you know that maybe has a little bit of an inertia. One person that you know that maybe needs a bit of cognitive ease. Let them know that you're thinking of them. Let them know that you care about them. And we will see you next time on the Money Script podcast. Everybody take care.
Bye.
I'm back. Wasn't that a great show? I hope you learned something. I know I did. Now, before you go trying anything you heard today, remember it is not intended to be specific tax or legal advice. If you need that, go see a CPA or an attorney. If you would like any complimentary consultation with a knowledgeable advisor, visit moneyscript.com and schedule a 15-minute consultation. Want Johans to come speak at your next event? Go to the Money Script website for that too. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Money Script Wealth Management is a registered financial advisory service in multiple states. Want to learn more? Get the full disclosure on our website, moneyscript.com.